Convert UTC datetime string to local datetime. I've never had to convert time to and from UTC. Recently had a request to have my app be time zone aware, and I've been running myself in circles. Lots of information on converting local time to UTC, which I found fairly elementary. Maybe I'm doing that wrong as well, but I cannot find any information on easily converting the UTC time to the end user's time zone. In a nutshell, an Android app sends me a Penguin app data, and within that data is a timestamp. To store that timestamp to UTC time I am using. That seems to be working. When my app stores the data, it is being stored as 5 hours ahead. I am est-5. The data is being stored on a Penguin's bigtable, and when retrieved it comes out as a string like so. How do I convert this string to a date time in the user's correct time zone? Also, what is the recommended storage for a user's time zone information? How do you typically store TZ info EA, 5:00 or est etc. etc.? I'm sure the answer to my first question might contain a parameter that answers the second.
If you don't want to provide your own Zinfo objects, check out the Python Datutil library. It provides Zinfo implementations on top of a ZoneInfo, Olsen, database such that you can refer to time zone rules by a somewhat canonical name. Edit expanded example to show stop time usage. Edit 2 fixed API usage to show better entry point method. Edit 3 included auto detect methods for time zones. Yorin. Here's a resilient method that doesn't depend on any external libraries. This avoids the timing issues in Delboy's example, and the lesser timing issues in Eric van Owersen's amendment. As an interesting footnote, the time zone offset computed above can differ from the following seemingly equivalent expression, probably due to daylight savings rule changes. Update. The snippet has the weakness of using the UTC offset of the present time, which may differ from the UTC offset of the input date time. See comments on this answer for another solution. To get around the different times, grab the epoch time from the time passed in. Here's what I do.
See the datetime documentation on Zinfo objects. You have to implement the time zones you want to support yourself. There are examples at the bottom of the documentation. Here's a simple example. Output.
If you want to get the correct result even for the time that corresponds to an ambiguous local time, for example, during a DSD transition, and all the local UTC offset is different at different times in your local time zone, then use Python time zones.
This answer should be helpful if you don't want to use any other modules besides datetime. Datetime.add from timestamp returns a naive datetime object, not an aware one. Aware ones are time zone aware, and naive are not. You want an aware one if you want to convert between time zones, for example between UTC and local time. If you aren't the one instantiating the date to start with, but you can still create a naive datetime object in UTC time, you might want to try this Python 3x code to convert it. Be careful not to mistakenly assume that if your time zone is currently in DT that daylight savings doesn't work with the above code since it prints MST. You'll note that if you change the month to August, it'll print MDT. Another easy way to get an aware datetime object, also in Python 3x, is to create it with a time zone specified to start with. Here's an example, using UTC. If you use Python 2x, you'll probably have to subclass datetime.synfo and use that to Help you create an aware datetime object, since datetime.timezone doesn't exist in Python 2x.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.